What is going on everyone, Nostalgia925 coming at you with another Explaining Digimon episode. An episode that is part of a series where we decide to enter and explore the digital world to find its true worth. And for now I must say that it has been extremely exciting. Now in this video I wanted to take my time to explore the attack of WARGREYMON. Those who have watched Digimon Season 1, I am sure you will all remember Agumon's mega level form called WARGREYMON. Definitely among my top favorite Digimon. WARGREYMON has this amazing attack called Terra Force. I remember it as this giant fireball, and I was always intrigued as this giant ball was almost 2 to 3 times WARGREYMON's body. And please do not think for a second that WARGREYMON is a short Digimon. Sure, it is the shortest of Agumon's Digivolutions, but the Digimon is about 10 feet tall or 3 meters, which is enormous. For the One Piece fans here, Akainu is also 10 feet tall. We're talking about crazy heights. Luffy has an average height, not short, not tall, but you can see that he is only as tall as Akainu's legs. And I think that in this picture the scaling might even be wrong, but at least you know that WARGREYMON, despite the shortest of Agumon's Digivolution, is a huge Digimon. And the Terra Force should at least be half of its size, meaning that the diameter should approximately be 6 to 8 meters of what I presume to be a flame ball. And I'm not even talking about the mass it has or the energy it may store. One thing is sure, just from the idea of the diameter alone, you have to know that we are talking about an attack that can probably eradicate all organic forms I can imagine, even though we have yet to discuss its properties. And that is what we are going to do in this video. We are going to study WARGREYMON'S Terra Force to sort of develop an idea of how powerful that attack may be. We can already say that it is a huge ball, and when it comes to offense, I guess I have to say that height does indeed matter a lot. Maybe it is best for us to start discussing the name of its attack. Most would know the attack as Terra Force, but the other name is Gaia Force. The Gaia is a reference to a character in Greek mythology called Gaia, also known as the ancestral mother of all life. The primal Mother Earth goddess, actually. What I learned in my years of Digimon research is that you always need to take into account the names that are being used in Digimon, as it will either say something about the identity of the Digimon or maybe the purpose, or in our case for this video, how powerful an attack may be. Gaia Force is already a reference towards the Earth, or at least the environment, the nature, the oceans, the atmosphere. Now that's it for Gaia. Let us now take a look at the concept force. Simply said, a force means a strength or energy as an attribute of physical movement. We put Gaia Force together, it would literally mean Earth strength or Earth energy. This kind of reminds me of Goku's Spirit Bomb, also known as Genkidama. Arguably the strongest attack in the Dragon Ball franchise. The user of that attack can gather huge amounts of energy from all chosen surrounding life forms and also inanimate objects to conduct that energy into a massive sphere of astounding destructive power. Though I must say that the Genkidama is probably much stronger than WARGREYMON'S Terra Force, as the Terra Force only concentrates energy from the atmosphere. It hasn't been specifically stated that WARGREYMON could amass energy from other living being or from the nature like the ocean, but still, don't take it lightly, we are still talking about the atmosphere, which is certainly enormous. Now I did say that I thought that the attack was fire, but it actually is not, and maybe to help you understand, fire is not energy. The light and the heat produced by the flame, that is what we call energy. The definition of energy says the following. Energy is the power derived from the utilization of physical or chemical resources, especially to provide light and heat or to work machines. This means that the heat the Gaia Force might emit, especially when you know that the energy comes from the atmosphere, which might pretty much be infinite, I believe that the heat it might emit will be enormous. And there are two very impressive feats about this attack. In Digimon Adventure 3, or Tri, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but I'm talking about the 6th film collection, WARGREYMON'S Terra Force had enough power to bring down ALPHAMON on one knee. And ALPHAMON alone is already extremely powerful. Heck, we are talking about a member of the Royal Knights, meaning that we are talking about a very, very powerful Digimon. Now in case you are new, I did talk about ALPHAMON in the Explaining Dorumon video. I will make sure to put the link of it in the description box. Another important feat about the Terra Force, something I found on the internet, It is said that when the attack is fully charged, it can provide a third of the energy of an explosion the size of Mount Fuji. If that is not huge, my friends, then I would not really know what could be considered as huge. Mount Fuji is among the biggest mountains on Earth. The blast would certainly affect those who are in the blast radius, which would high probably be huge. So the attack is actually very strong, much stronger than I first imagined, and it can cover a lot of space depending on how charged it is. And if it can put a Royal Knight member on its knees, then you know that you should at least try to avoid getting hit by it. Now obviously if I talk about WARGREYMON, some of you will ask me to talk about BLACKWARGREYMON, so let us just do that. Let us take a look at BLACKWARGREYMON's variation of the attack. The attack is called Terra Destroyer, so instead of being a force, it is a destroyer. I think it is a little bit smaller in size than the Terra Force, but just keep in mind that it certainly will have a diameter that is above 3 meters. So it is still huge. The attack does not work the same as WARGREYMON's. It has different properties. The energy it gathers does not come from the atmosphere. It takes all of the negative emotions within the world and concentrates them into one spot. I actually have reason to believe that this attack would be way stronger than the Terra Force, because you see, if you were to put the Terra Force in a graph and you put the energy on the x-axis and the atmosphere on the y-axis, you will see that the line is high probably linear. The energy that is gathered will simply depend on the amount of energy taken from the atmosphere. However, with negative emotions it is not the same. An individual or a Digimon can experience a multitude of negative emotions, and for some, the experienced negative emotion is so powerful that some can even cease to function. This means that the quality of the experienced emotion will vary from individual or Digimon. And you need to pay attention. There are very powerful Digimon who were created because of negative thoughts. Think of ALPHAMON, a Digimon that in Digimon Season 1 was defeated by the Digidestined. And the truth is, I didn't even agree with the outcome of the battle. But anyway, ALPHAMON is a Digimon based on the negative thoughts, and BLACKWARGREYMON is using those negative emotions as an attack. Maybe it is a good idea to briefly explain what is meant with negative emotions. So negative emotions can be described as any feeling which causes you to be miserable and sad. These emotions make you dislike yourself and others and take away your confidence. Emotions that can become negative are hate, anger, jealousy, and sadness, yet in the right context, these feelings are completely natural, which means that everyone has them. In fact, some even have it more than others. And here's a quick top list of the most common negative emotions: anger, annoyance, sadness, guilt, fear, anxiety, discouragement, despair, apathy, disappointment, frustration. All of those are emotions that everyone can have at once. And it's the same with Digimon. Certain Digimon can experience those emotions. I think that some cannot, as some Digimon only move based on primitive instincts. But even those Digimon that only act based on those primitive instincts, like let us say Kabuterimon, they can at least experience some negative emotions like fear. But anyway, the quality of the experienced emotion will vary from Digimon to Digimon, or from human that will venture in the same world as a BLACKWARGREYMON. I am sure that with the Terra Force, the graph line will have an exponential rise, on the contrary to the linear augmentation of the Terra Force. I'm of course talking from my own point of view, so what I'm saying, I can imagine that some of you could disagree. And I really like it when people disagree, as it sparks interesting debates, and that's what I truly love. But the point of this video is to simply make you understand what the Terra Force and the Terra Destroyer are all about. Very powerful attacks, certainly among the most powerful attacks in the entire universe, and the ironic part is that these attacks can be enhanced depending on the variation. And what do I mean with variation? WARGREYMON X, the X antibody version of WARGREYMON, has an attack called Gaia Force 0, an attack where it instantly fires a Terra Force at the heart of the enemy as a point-blank attack that seems impossible to evade. Now at the moment you can fire such a huge blast at point-blank range, a ball of concentrated energy with a diameter that should at least be around 6 meters, and maybe even bigger considering that we're talking about an enhanced version of WARGREYMON, I think that the attack coming from WARGREYMON X would be even more devastating than the Terra Force of WARGREYMON. BLACKWARGREYMON X has another variation called Hades Force, And like Gaia, Hades is also a character of Greek mythology, the god of the dead and the king of the underworld. This kind of gives me a reason to explore these characters in the Explaining Mythology series. But anyway, when Black Wargreymon X uses the Hades Force, it continuously fires its special move, the Terra Destroyer, and I repeat, continuously. So it continuously fires those energy balls, but at ultra high speed. It is said that evasion of this attack seems impossible. And at the moment such a dangerous attack has a success rate of about 90% to successfully hit an opponent, we're talking about a very broken move, a very dangerous move, making Wargreymon and Black Wargreymon, along with their X variations, certainly among the strongest Digimon in that universe. And the worst is that I haven't even talked in depth about their Dramon Destroyers or their other abilities. Maybe I should discuss them in another video. Hey guys, this is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I already warned you before that we are going to travel deeper and deeper in the Digimon digital world. I already told in previous episodes that there is simply too much to talk about when it comes to Digimon. I talked so much simply because of an attack, and yet there are so many other questions I have, so many other subjects that I plan to address, without forgetting that you guys also wrote so many questions and requests which I certainly will take into account. But seriously, I talked about one attack, well 2 or 4 maybe, but the same kind of attack anyway. But there are so many other Digimon with special abilities, with attacks that even involve space-time continuity. So what kind of video will those look like? But anyway, we will get through all of those. I hope that you guys don't mind me to ask to please subscribe and join the NostalgiaNat5 crew. Together we will make sure that Digimon gets the attention it truly deserves. Also, in case you guys are new, all my playlists, may them be about Digimon or about mythologies or about love, games, doesn't matter, my playlists are always updated. Please make sure to check them out. The playlist will help you to easily catch up on the newest and the oldest videos.